Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my gameplay screen. Actually, let me go to my main camera. Already we're live. And as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, hold up guys, let me actually fix my camera real quick. There we go. Okay, as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, today I'm going to be working on game logic in using Unreal Engine 5 and C++. The reason I didn't like Starter is because I'm so used to saying UMG/UI in Unreal Engine. That's it, let's go to my gameplay screen. Guys, last stream I did go over UIs and all that stuff. This stream I will be working on those as well, but while adding button logic and all that stuff. That's it, hiding pixels. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, now let's go ahead and say something like say him live exclamation. Okay guys, I did like work a little bit off stream on the UMG topic part, but I couldn't find a video or something where they actually write the code, so I might try the blueprint this stream. Okay, that's it, good, you're live. Okay, lock in people, chat, look at this carefully. Okay, all the basic intro. Guys, I feel like I want to skip the intro because I need like as much time as I can. Okay, that's it, let me say something like, say, I have a quick question. Okay, so I had a quick question. Like, if you guys did watch last stream, I did make a button work where if I click a button, I exit my entire game/program. But I wanted to like click a button that actually starts my program. I thought about it like off stream and I figured out that I might need two cameras to do that stuff. I have a quick question. So, okay, can I switch between two cameras? Question mark. Okay, one camera could be for my, let's say, UI where I have start, stop, and resume button, and the other camera can follow my player. But I want to start at, let's say, the camera that says play starts. Actually, that says play stop and resume. Okay, and if I hit play, I want to move on to my player's camera. Okay, can they do that? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Yes, absolutely yes. This is not a hack. This is standard clean professional game design. Good, your brain is asking the right question now. Let me frame the reality first. We lock in it. The core truth, burn this in Unreal, you never move the player to a camera. You switch which camera the player controls, which the player controller is viewing through. I see. Cameras are just eyes. The player controller decides which eye it uses. Okay. Yes, you can do it. You can do exactly this. Camera A, menu/UI, static, cinematic, frozen. Camera B, player, third person, follows character. Game starts. Camera A, active, player input disabled, UI visible. I see. Press play. Camera switches to camera A, player input enabled, UI removed. This is textbook where each thing lists. I see. Okay, I think I understand the logic, but I want to know how do I load a camera. Let me say something like, say, how do I load a static camera to my Unreal Engine? Question mark. Like, do I need a class to do that? Because I'm honestly just used to adding cameras using classes, but not without classes. That's a good. This is clean fundamental question. Lock in. No wasted time motion. No over engineering. Short answer, burn this and no, you do not need a C++ class to add a static camera. Unreal already gives you a camera actor. Okay, you only write code when you want control. Option 1, fastest, cleanest level camera. This is what you want right now. How to add a static camera, no code. Open your level, go to place actor, search camera actor, drag it into the level, position it where you want the menu view, okay? That's it, you just created a static camera. I say I might try that. So I gotta go to my Unreal Engine here, and then first I'm gonna go to levels. Let's open a new level. Okay, I wanna go ahead and let's say create a, what was this level called? I forgot. Let's see, I forgot the level name actually. Okay, let's create a basic level. Now I'm gonna go ahead and decrease my floors size because for some reason I prefer like having a smaller floor. For some reason that looks much better. There we go. That should be kind of good. Okay, now I'm gonna hit W again. Alright, now let's read the instructions. What was it that I had to do? Firstly, I had to go to place actors. Go to place actor, search camera actor. Okay, so in my Unreal Engine, do you guys see place actors? Okay, is it like in tools? Do I see place actor? Maybe I go ahead and type something like place. Okay, there isn't a place actor here. I might actually get to say/ChatGPT up here again to ask where's place actor located at. Okay, let me say something like, okay, let's say something like, let's say, where is place actor located at question mark? Okay, focus, eyes on the editor. This is the basic character. Once you see it, you'll never lose it again. Where place actor lives in Unreal Engine 5. Option 1, top toolbar, most common. Look at the top of the editor. You'll see window, edit tools, toolbar. Okay, right next to those, there's a button called place actors. Click it. A panel opens on the left side. I think I see. So I see actors here. I'm assuming there's going to be a place actor here. There we go. Okay, a panel opens, and then what did I have to do with the panel once I get it? Okay, if you don't see it, okay, once the panel is open, in the place actors panel, use the search bar, type camera, drag camera actor into the levels. I see, let's go ahead and try that real quick. So beside my actors, okay, so in my actor, I gotta find place actor, and then I see a camera actor. Oh, I see. Okay, that's actually kind of perfect. Although I want to get it a bit higher. Hold up, guys, let me go ahead and get it a bit higher. How do you get it higher? There. Okay, now I gotta be really careful when actually positioning it. Where do I want my camera to be? Maybe I want it to be somewhere here. I want it to be somewhere in the left, lower, a bit up. There we go. Okay, I think that looks good. I think this looks good. So my camera could be here, and I'm planning to like have my player standing like right here and the menus beside it, if that makes any sense. For example, I want my player to be, let's say, standing in the left side and my menus in the right side, so it looks a little good. Okay, got my camera actor here. Let's go ahead and rename it. I'm gonna go ahead and rename it something like, okay, rename. Can I rename it? Rename. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and rename it. I want to call it something like UI camera. Okay, this is going to be my UI's camera. Alright, perfect. It is a static camera as well. Next up, let's see. Okay, let me say something like, let's say I created a actor camera. Now, should I create a class for my character? Or okay, should I create a class for my character, or let's say or a static actor, because I want my let's say something like, I want my character to be to the left and the UI at the right. Let's go with UI at the right. Okay, perfect. So my character at the left and the UI at the right. Okay, and when I click, okay, let's just go with UI at the right for the time being. Okay, then later on I might want to change cameras as well, but for the time being I think this is just good. Listen carefully, this is a design decision, not a guessing game. You're thinking in the right direction. Now I'll lock it in for you. Short answer, burn this into your memory. Yes. Create a camera class for your player. No. Do not turn the static camera into a character. Okay, yes, create a character class for your player. No, do not turn the static camera into a character. The camera is a watcher, the character is a doer. Mixing them is how projects run. Okay, wait, let me say something like, let's say I did not want to, let's go with something like, want to convert my camera to a actor, but I wanted a actor that does not move, like a static actor for my game's interface. Okay, and when I click a certain button, I wanted to change the camera to my player's camera. Okay, let's see. Good. This is clarity, not confusion, and there is a key realization. You're clicking, you're circling. A camera actor is already a static actor by default. You do not need a special static actor class for this. The core truth, log this in, camera actor, an actor that just happened to have a camera component. It does not move unless you move it. It does not receive input. It does not tick when movement logic. So what you described is exactly how camera actors are meant to be used. You were right. Your instinct was correct. The core setup, no extra classes, menu slash UI camera. Use a camera placed in the level. This camera still sits, looks at your player, shows your UI, is active at the start. You do not add movement input. You do not add movement, input, or logic. It's a statue with eyes, player, camera. This lives inside your character. Spring arm camera component follows the player. Used during gameplay. Okay, I did understand that. Camera switching magic. Okay, you simply tell the player controller, hey, look at that camera now. That's it. One command, one brain in charge. Okay, let me just go ahead and say in that case, um, how or what do I need to add for my, let's say something like for my static mesh that, oh, I could go ahead and add a static mesh as well. I just need something that does not move. Okay, actually, I think I got it. I think I got that part. Okay, wait, let's go ahead and say something like, in that case, is there a way to, not actually, okay, maybe I'm just gonna go to my Unreal Engine. Hello, young man, I'm back. Hiding Artificial, I appreciate you joining the stream. A prompt for my GPT, ask yours to create a prompt, please. A prompt for my GPT, ask yours to create a prompt, please. Honestly, I feel like I just used a basic prompt by saying ChatGPT act as my sensei slash ChatGPT. Okay, let's see. So basically what I'm thinking right now is I might create a static mesh right here. So this is going to be like off bounces. Oh, that's genius as well. I might create a place that's like off bounds for my player. Okay, so this is going to be off bounds. But then the UI is, okay, the UI is still gonna be a scene, even if I like switch my player. That's a question. Let me go back here. Let me say something like, say, okay, I just realized something. The UI will still remain in my window even if I change my actually, even if I change my camera. Okay, that part I think needs to be fixed. Yes, exactly. That realization, that's a level up moment. You just saw through the illusion the UI does not care about cameras. The fundamental truth, UMG lives in screenplays, not the world space. Changing camera does not move the UI. Okay, the UI is glued to the player's screen. Okay, I'll be back soon, to be honest. Honestly, I'll catch you soon, Pixels. Okay, why is this actually good? This is not a problem. This is power. It means your menu stays visible. How do I do that? How game handles the mental model? Think in layers. World layers, actors, characters, lights, camera layer. Which viewpoint is active right now? UI layer, menus, HUD, buttons, overlays, always on top. Switching camera effects, layer 2 only. So, what do you do when you click play? You have 3 clean options. Pick one. Option A, remove the menu UI. Remove from parent, used for menus. Option B, hide the UI, set visibility, collapse. Option 3, swap UI states. Menu HUD, same widget, different panels. Most games use C or B. Okay, I see. Important, do not tie UI to cameras. Okay, I think I see. So let me say something like, can you tell me what to do step by step, question mark. Okay, I want to add a UI that's let's say something like that does not show if I, let's say, switch my camera. Okay, that does not show if I switch my camera. Okay, good. Now we stop wiping and we execute. Read it slowly. Do not skip steps. This is exactly what you want. Goal. crystal clear. UI shows at start, camera, static menu, camera, player frozen, click play, UI disappears, camera switches to player camera. Player can move the UI, must not stay on the screen after camera switch. Step 1. Create, confirm your UI. You already have this, but verify. Widget blueprint. Okay, so I gotta create a regular blueprint. Button is marked variable true. Step 2. Add UI to the screen once. Player controller, where player controller or character being play. Create widget, add to viewports. I see. Okay, I know how to do that step as well. Freeze the player at start. This is critical. In begin play, player controller or character, you must disable players' inputs. Okay, that's something new. Before I do that, I want to go ahead and let's say create a UI here. To create a UI, I'm going to go to my content drawer and then under my contents section. Before I might add a folder first. Let's call it something like UI. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and drop a few Blender meshes and game items in this. I'm going to hit import. Okay, these were the things that I made, like, okay, there we go. Okay, these were the meshes and PNGs that I made like over time. Let's go ahead and close all this up. Okay, perfect. Okay, those were like my basic game items. Now I'm going to open my UI here. Let's go ahead and maybe create a user interface of a widget blueprint. I'm gonna go ahead and create a blueprint class. Let's call this something like WBP widget blueprint underscore overlay. This is gonna be like my overlay. Maybe I want to call it menu bar. Okay, I might go with menu bar, to be honest. Let's go with something like menu bar. Okay, perfect, because this is like gonna be my menu. Alright, perfect. Now, very important stuff. I'm gonna firstly save everything up. Okay, let's go ahead and save it under contents. This is gonna be my map, so I might create a new folder, call it something like map. Whoops, let's go ahead and rename it to something like map. And now I'm gonna open map and save it inside my map. Okay, perfect. That said, let's see, what all is inside my map again? Okay, my UI is in my map. Actually, UI is not in my map. My actual game's map is in my map. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and double click this, get my WBP menu bar right here so you guys can see it as well. Now I'm gonna go ahead and display a UI. Okay, before I do that, let's decrease the size of this a bit. There we go. Okay, now first thing that I'm gonna do is go to the search bar under my palette and type something like a canvas panel. I'm gonna drag and drop my canvas panel here. Now inside my canvas panel, I wanna go ahead and add a few buttons because buttons are the stuff that I'm gonna be clicking. I'm gonna go with something like buttons. So there we go, let's go with something like button. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drag and drop a button here. But for the time being, I wanna set my canvas panels as do you guys see image here? Okay, I think there is no image for canvas panel. Okay, bro, I'm still curious. What is this editor called? Honestly, I am like using Unreal Engine. That said, wait, Unreal Engine is like my IDE or like my game engine. But the editor, are you like curious about this editor? Because this is like Visual Studio. Okay, let's go back to my Unreal Engine here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and increase the size. This is gonna be my actual menu bar. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe shrink the size a little. Okay, is there an option to actually select my size? Whoops, did I mess something up, guys? Okay, now I can just cancel that. Now, how do I change? I wanna go ahead and add a position to it. Let's go with something like a reference. Okay, okay, replace with button, with overlay, with scroll bar. Okay, bro, never stop trying and learning, even if his girlfriend, guys, I don't have a girlfriend. Okay, that's it. How you doing, Ayush? Appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, now for my buttons, I'm gonna scroll all the way down until I don't find, let's say, style. Under my style, I'm gonna go ahead and open normal. In my normal, I'm gonna go ahead and find a red overlay here. This is the PNG that I created, and this was like inside my game items type stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and just decrease the size a little. There we go. Now I want to go ahead and set the position of this to be at the position of my camera. Okay, so I'm gonna go under tint, and you guys can see how it's like a little bit dark right now. I want it to be like its original color, so I'm gonna change it to 1, 1, and 1. Now it's a bit brighter. And then under, let's click my button real quick. under my hover to section, I'm going to open that. When I hover over it, for the time being, it is going to be white. I want to fix that. I might change this to something like image. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and add another red overlay. OVER, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and paste that for my hover. When I hover over it, I want to set my tint to be 1 as well, because I don't want it to change colors. Hello, hi Nikhil, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, now if I were to go ahead and compile my code real quick, and then let's go to my 3 dots here that looks like a blueprint. I'm gonna open my level in my blueprint. I won't be needing textures, so I'm gonna remove my text, but I will be needing my event play. I'm gonna drag that off and search for, let's say, something like create widget, because I want to create a widget in my window. I'm gonna click that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and select my class, which is my WBP menu bar. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pull this as well and click the add to viewport, because I want to add it to my viewport. Okay, and then let's go ahead and compile this as well. Now if I were to go ahead and run the code, I see my widget up here. Okay, and I can move, but the widget moves with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit something like escape. Okay, wait, before that, I want to go to my camera. Let's go to my UI camera real quick. So there we go. And then I'm gonna search for something like possess. Okay, I cannot possess. How do I look from my UI cameras as POV? Okay, let me think. Okay, do you remember me? Honestly, I don't remember you. Okay, let's go all the way up here. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get sensei/ChatGPT here. Let's see something like, let's say, I ran my code just to see a bit, just for doing a bit of modifications. Actually, just to see if it works properly, but I realized I don't see from my static actor cameras POV. Okay, I tried to add a possess to player 0, but I don't find that. How can I see from my UI cameras POV? Question mark. Okay, bro, after completing my batch, I'm all into Unreal Engine on game development presents. I'm in batch 3rd year. Oh, I see. I hope we may work together in the future on a own game. That actually sounds really cool. I'm actually looking forward to that. Charn, is that your name? That's it. Let's see. You don't remember me? Honestly, I do remember you, Nikhil. I feel like, guys, there are like so many of you guys that I do remember, but then I sometimes forget the name and everything, but I feel like I remember like most of you guys. Good guys, this is a classic Unreal confusion point, and you stepped on it. Now I'm gonna pull you out of it cleanly. First burn this misconception. You do not possess a camera actor ever. Possess equals to pawn and character only. Cameras are view targets, not possessed actors. That's why you couldn't find auto player possess on camera actor. Unreal is protecting you from doing something wrong. The correct way to see from your UI camera, you must tell the player controller, hey, use this camera as the viewport. Step by step, do this exactly. Step 1, select your camera actor, click on your camera actor in the level, rename it to something like menu camera. This avoids confusion later. Set camera view at game start. Set camera view at game start where player controller or character begin play. Conceptually, you must do this. Get the player controller. Call set view target with blend. Target equals to menu camera. Okay, step 3, quick test editor only to confirm it's valid. Select the camera actor, click pilot. If the view looks correct, camera is fine. Okay, I see. Let's go ahead and get my Unreal Engine back here. Bro, after completing okay, that's it. Let's go here. Let's go ahead and click my UI camera real quick. I think my camera component is down here. I might decrease the size of this. Let's go ahead and increase my size here. There we go. Okay, so do I gotta go ahead? So I gotta click that. Do I gotta go ahead and add something? So let me get sensei/ChatGPT back here. Let me say something like, Sensei, I clicked my UI camera and it's named UI camera. There we go. It's named UI camera. Okay, do I need to add something to it? Question mark. Huh. Okay, good. Stop right there. Do not add random things. Short answer, no, you do not need to add anything. What a UI camera actually is supposed to be. Your UI camera is already complete by existing, has a camera component, has transform position slash rotation, does nothing unless told. What you should do instead, do not modify the camera. You use the camera. All control happens in player controller. Where can I find player controller? Checklist to do, nothing else. UI camera, name it UI camera. Position where you want the menu, did that. FOV looks good, not moving, no scripts, no possessions. If all of that is true, done. Player controller, this is where the action is. Where do I find the player controller? Okay, let me say something like, where do I find the player controller, question mark? Okay, let's see. Listen up, people. Player controller isn't a thing sitting in your level like an actor. You can drag it. It's a class that controls the player. Automatically spawned when you start the game for player 0. Here's how to create it step by step. Check the current player controller. Go to world settings. If you're in your level, if you don't see it, enable it in Windows menu. Look for game mode override. Expand it. Check player controller class. By default, it's probably player controller built in. If you want custom logic like switching cameras, you create your own. Create a custom player class recommended. Okay, create a custom player controller. Right click content drawer, C++ class player controller. Next name it my player controller. So C++ class player controller. Next name. Okay, open it. This is what you'll add to the camera. Include all the stuff and then a U class. That's, I'm assuming, already included. I create a set camera to UI as blueprint callable. U property, edit anywhere. A camera actor is going to be represented by UI camera's pointer. Okay, bro, looks so gay, guys. Looks so gay. It's kind of crazy. Okay, include player controller .h, include game framework. Okay, actor. If UI camera, set view target blend. Okay, I might try the second method. Assign camera. Step 3, assign your custom controller. Go back to world settings. Select my player controller. Okay, let me get Sensei/ChatGPT in the other tab because I want to see the reference while I do that part, because that part is kind of new. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll all the way down here. There. Now, let me go ahead and follow the instructions real quick. So, apparently what it said was, I gotta go ahead and open my content drawer. In my content drawer. Okay, C++ classes. Okay, so I'm assuming I go to something like content, and then maybe I'm gonna go ahead and add another folder that says something like cameras, because I might have more than one cameras. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open my camera. I'm gonna right click. Do you guys see C++ classes? I see blueprint class. I see two presets. Let me type C++. So content browser, C++. Oh, I see. Okay, hold up, guys. I think the C++ class should be like in a folder here, but I don't have that yet. So I'm gonna go to my tools, go to new. This is C++ classes. C++ class. Content drawer. So let me think this. Right click in content drawer. So I gotta go ahead and right click. Okay, good going, kid. Keep it up. Proud of you. Honestly, I appreciate you, Benji. That actually means the world to me, guys. Okay, C++. Do I see C++ here? 2D arrays. Okay, materials. I see blueprint here. Okay, I do not see a C++ here. Hello, Hiding Horizon. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let's try typing C++. There's C, and then if I go with something like plus plus. Okay, what if I go with CPP? Okay, neither of them are here. But if I were to go to something like tools, I would go to something like new C++ class. And then under my all classes, if I were to go ahead and search something like player controller, I see a player controller here. I think this is what Sensei/ChatGPT meant. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna click next, and then I'm gonna name it something like my player controller. Let's go with something like my player controller. Okay, perfect. Okay, what editor are you using, bro? I'm using like Unreal Engine for like my this stuff, but I am also using like Visual Studio for like actually writing the code. yo, can you teach me personally how to script? Honestly, I'm not like as good at it, so I won't be able to like teach for the time being, but I am planning to eventually make a lot of tutorials once I get good with this stuff. Hugh here, you again here. How are you doing, Sal? Hello, appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let's change the name to something like my player controller. Go ahead and create a class. Now, while my class is being created, I might read some notes real quick. Okay, and then the next step, it says my file is patching. Let's go ahead and reload all. Let's exit this real quick. And now, inside my class, let's see. Open it. This is where you'll add the camera switch code. So I gotta go ahead and add my camera switch code. I'm assuming here. So I have a generated body. So under my generated body, I'm gonna go ahead and firstly, I won't need to include anything, but I will publicize everything. Inside my public section, I'm gonna go ahead and create a U function. Let's go with something like a U function. My U function is gonna be blueprint callable because I want my blueprint to have access of my function, or I wanna like be able to access my this function using my blueprint. Okay, man, please. एक बार हिंदी बोल की बताओ. Guys, I feel like I'm kind of improving and learning Hindi, but then whatchamacallit, I can actually talk a bit, but I can't actually whatchamacallit read it as fluently, because guys, I have almost zero experience with reading it. Okay, let's go with something like blueprint callable. Okay, although let me know if I read that correctly, guys. I was trying to improve because I see like many of you guys do like type comments in Hindi sometimes, so I was trying to like learn how to like literally pronounce this stuff, because I do know a few words, but I just can't like commentate on it fluently because I don't like most phrases and words. Let's see. So this is a blueprint callable, and then I'm gonna go ahead and create a void function called something like set camera to UI. Okay, this is gonna be my function name. I'm gonna add a pair of parentheses, ending it with a semicolon. Once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and create a U property. Let's go with something like property. I'm gonna create an Unreal property that says edit anywhere. This is something new. Okay, I've heard of like I've used visible anywhere or like visible anywhere, but I've never used edit anywhere. I gotta like check what that means. And then I create a camera actor, okay, which is going to be represented by something like a UI camera. Okay, then I go ahead and end this with a semicolon. I'm assuming I create a whole camera up here. Okay, and that's like pretty much it. Let's go ahead and hit something like Control S to save the code. But here's the thing, did I like mess something? So I have a void function, I have generated body. I think everything's correct here. Now let's go to my C++ file. In my C++ file, I'm gonna go ahead and include something from my game framework. So I'm gonna go ahead and add something like hashtag include a pair of parentheses. Let's go with something like from my game framework. Let's go with something like framework. I want to go ahead and include my actors as header files. And then apparently I gotta create a void function. So I created a void function here, but I'm gonna go ahead and define it inside my C++. To do that, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say create a void. Let's go with something like, is it A? There we go. I'm gonna go with something like a my player controller. This is my class's name. From my class, I'm gonna use the scope resolution operator and get my UI camera. UI camera. There we go. This is my UI camera as this function. Okay, now mind, it's set camera to UI. My bad, guys. Let's change it to something like set camera to UI. Okay, perfect. With a pair of parentheses. I won't be requiring any parameters, but I will be adding a pair of curly braces here. Now, inside my function, I'm gonna go ahead and add a if statement. So I gotta add a if statement to check if UI camera, I'm assuming if it's set to true, then I go ahead and do something. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and use the function set to target with blend, set view target with blend. I'm gonna use the set view target with blends function. Let's go with something like with blends function, which requires two parameters. It requires my new view target and my blend time. My new view target could be something like my UI camera, and my blend time could be something like 0.5, ending with a semicolon. Okay, here's the thing, CAMERA. Did I spell camera correct? Let's copy that, let's paste it here. I think, yeah, it's correct. Did I mess something up? Okay. Is it just my editor? Argument of type actor is incompatible with parameter of a actor. I had to go with a my player controller, set camera to UI. I did that. If my camera is set to true, set view target with blend, okay, which has UI camera and 0.5. I think that part was correct. I mean, I'll see if it messes up or is just my editor type stuff. I think this is not my editor. Argument of type a camera is incompatible with parameter of a actor. Okay, assign your custom player controller, go back to world setting. I want to run the code and check if I get an error. Okay, what are you building today? Today I am like working with game logic and trying to mix everything that I have learned. For example, I want to work on the logic where I click a button and I switch my cameras from like my UI's camera to my player's third person camera. That said, did I run into an error or is it still running? Oh, result failed. Let's see the error. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this error that I get from here. Let's go with Control A, Control C. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get Sensei/ChatGPT up here. Okay, now I'm back. Hiding pixels. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let's go to something like, let's go to something like project. Okay, guys, did not want to increase the whole thing. Let's go to something like project and then increase it from here as well. There, that should be good. Let's extend it from here, zoom up, and then scroll down, paste it, go with Shift Enter and say something like Sensei. I wrote the code, but I get this error. Okay, but I get this error, and I also see a red underline in my .cpp file. Okay, guys, this is why I like to copy paste the code first to check if I don't get any error instead of like manually typing it. That's it. Listen, people, that red underline and this build errors. Scream live coding is still on. Unreal cannot compile while live coding is active. It's literally blocking your build. That's why you're failing with code 6. Here's what you do step by step. Turn off live coding. Okay, check your CPP red underline. I mean, why would it go with that? It says my argument type a camera is incompatible with the parameter. Okay, what if I try compiling it in my Unreal Engine? So there we go. Okay, let's hit Control Alt F11 real quick. Okay, it still says build failed. It says my UI camera is wrong. It says this part is wrong. Okay, let's copy that. Wait, did I load the correct stuff? Let's go with Control A, Control C, copy that. Get Sensei/ChatGPT here. Let's go ahead and paste it. Let's say something like, let's say, something is wrong in this block of code. Huh. Oh, you say, see the mistake. You're missing the type of UI camera. Add a variable to your UI camera and header file. So edit anywhere, blueprint read write. Category camera. This allows you to assign the camera in the editor via blueprint. I see. Make your function save. Oh, I think I see. Okay, wait, let's go ahead and open my Visual Studio real quick. I'm gonna go all the way here. That actually does make sense because before I just had like edit anywhere. This makes so much more sense. Let's hit something like Control S to save the code. Okay, go all the way up here. Is this gonna go? Okay, skip my editor time. Maybe I go ahead and type UI camera again. There we go. Okay, that apparently fixed itself. I think that was the issue here. I had to add blueprint read and write and category. I have not heard of these two keywords here, but I gotta like look into those. That's it. Let's go ahead and get my Unreal Engine up here again. I want to try Control Alt F11 to compile my code or patch my code real quick. Let's see if it works. There we go. Result succeeded. Perfect. Okay, now what's the next step after I'm done with that? So once my result has been succeeded, let me say something like Sensei. Okay, that fixed it, exclamation. What to do next, question mark. Okay, let's see what to do next. Good people, next step, make the camera switch back to your player when you hit the play button. Add a player camera in your player camera. Okay, add a function to switch player. Okay, disable input, freeze player input initially in your player character. You can disable movement begin. Okay, and then hook the player. Alright, before I actually do this stuff, I realized I might want to actually create a whole player class. So I'm going to decrease that a little. Let's open my Unreal Engine here. Okay, I gotta go ahead and create a character class first because I did not create a character class. So I'm gonna go ahead and click tools, go ahead and create a new class. I'm gonna go ahead and create a character class. Let's do something like next. I'm gonna call it something like a boss. This is gonna be my stages boss. Maybe I go with mage because I haven't worked with boss like a lot. Let's go with something like mage. Now, while it's adding to my project, I might go ahead and eat something real quick. There we go. Let's go ahead and reload all. And now I have my major C++ file and header files. So I'm gonna go ahead and do something. Firstly, I want to include a few components. Let's say I want to include a camera component because my mage is going to be having a camera of his own. So from my, let's say, camera, I want to go ahead and include my camera components as header files. And then from my, let's say something like game framework. So let's say from my game framework, I want to go ahead and include my spring arm component. If you guys aren't like familiar with like camera booms that people use in the film industries, you guys can think of spring arm as a selfie stick where my camera is going to be stuck, if that makes any sense, because I wouldn't be like my player would hold the camera with his hands in front of his face. He's going to be having a selfie stick stuck to him. Okay, once I'm done with the two of these from my game framework, there, I want to include spring arm. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go under my protected data members and create a few functions. Excuse me, guys. I want to create a function that moves my player forward and backwards. I want a function that turns my player. He can rotate towards the left and right. And I want a function that... I could just go with something like move, turn, and rotate. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create 4 functions. One function is going to be in charge of my player moving forwards and backwards. Other function left, right. Third function rotating depending on where my mouse moves in the x-axis. Fourth function rotating up and down depending on where my mouse moves in the y-axis. Respect, man. Keep up the grind. Honestly, I appreciate you. Aksh, is that how I pronounce your name? Okay, that said, once I'm done with that, let me go ahead and do something. I'm gonna go ahead and create a void function. I think I had it. Spelling mistake here. Spring arm component. There. Okay, now I'm gonna go back down. component. Okay, perfect. Let's go all the way down here. Okay, love the strategy. Exactly what Alex Holmesy proposed. Honestly, I haven't like heard of Alex Holmesy. Let me actually check who he is. Is he like someone who is like really good with like software development? So let's go ahead and paste this here. Okay. Oh, it's a book, I think. Okay, never mind, guys. I think I checked the wrong stuff. That's it. Let's go with something like void. I'm gonna go ahead and create a move forwards method. Actually, function, or actually, you know what? I think it's a method because I am inside a class. And functions inside of classes are called methods. That requires a floating point parameter of value ending with a semicolon. I'm going to create another method called something like move right that requires a floating point parameter of value as well ending with a semicolon. Third is going to be something like turn, which requires a floating point parameter of value. Lastly, I'm going to create my fourth method called something like lookup, okay, which is going to be requiring a floating point parameter of value as well ending with a semicolon. Once I'm done with those, I'm going to go ahead and add the let's say properties for, or I'm gonna go ahead and add the properties for my camera boom, which is my spring arm component, and my follow camera, that is going to be my camera component. The reason I like name it something like follow camera is because I want my actual camera component to be following my spring arm, which is my camera boom right here. Okay, nah man, you gotta check him. You love the content. Honestly, I might look into that after the stream in that case. Why are you talking with this accent? Actually, many of you guys do ask me that question. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and add a U property. Let's go with something like a U property, which is gonna be, let's say, okay, my U property is gonna be having a few parameters. I want my spring arm component to be visible anywhere. Okay, I want my spring arm component to be blueprint read only, so my blueprint can only read it, not edit it or anything. And then I want my category, let's go with something like category, to be equal to something like camera. I want it to be under my camera as a section, ending with a semicolon. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and create a use spring arm component. I'm going to create a literal spring arm component, which is going to be pointing towards, let's say, something like a camera boom. Okay, actually not pointing towards, which is going to be represented by a pointer of camera boom. Okay, love the accent. Honestly, I appreciate you also. It actually means the world to me, guys. I rarely get that. Hello, how you doing? Hellbreaker, I appreciate you joining the stream. How you doing, Coding Boy? I appreciate you joining the stream as well. Okay, that's it. Next up, I'm gonna go ahead and create a follow camera as well. So this is gonna be my actual camera component here. I'm gonna go ahead and add a U property. Let's go with something like U property with a prof parentheses that requires a few parameters. Let's say I want my actual camera component to be visible anywhere. I want it to be something like blueprint read only. I want my blueprint to be able to read it. Read only. And then I want my category to be CATEGORY. There we go. I want my category to be camera, exactly the same as my camera boom, ending with a semicolon. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and create a U camera component. Let's go with something like component, which is going to be represented by a follow cameras as pointer, ending with a semicolon. That's about it. Well, keep it up, bro. Honestly, I appreciate your help, Breaker. That actually means the world to me, guys. Okay, once I'm done with this, I'm gonna hit Control S to save the code and move on to my mage.c++. I created my content here. I'm gonna define it inside of my C++ file. U camera component, component, which is going to be represented by follow camera, camera/camera component.h. There we go. Okay, guys, the editor sometimes just shows like the red underline. First time here, bro, can you explain a bit more of what you're doing for a new joiners? Honestly, basically what I'm actually working on is that I'm trying to work on game logic, because I did like start a program for like 250 series, where my goal by the end of the series is to make a game in general that consists of AI logic in it. And since I thought I am going to make a game, I started a Python, actually I started a C++ for 100 series, which was like indented inside of my programming for like 250 series. And now I spent 100 days of the 250 days, and I'm currently in day 115, so I have like a few more days by the time the series is over. So I gotta quickly like master my Unreal Engine using C++. Then I'm gonna try implementing Python and C++ at the same time. Python for AI logic, C++ for the game logic, if that made any sense, guys. That said, now once I'm done adding my content inside of my header files, I'm gonna define them inside of my C++ files. For example, inside of my constructor, I want to go ahead and create my camera boom. So I'm gonna go with something like camera boom. I'm gonna set that equal to, let's say, something like create default sub object, because in my constructor I want to construct stuff inside of my Unreal Engine. What code editor do you use? Honestly, I use like Visual Studio 2022. Okay, that's it. For my camera boom, I'm gonna go ahead and create a default sub object. Let's go with something like create default sub object with a prof ankle braces. Now my camera boom is a spring arm component. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this to be something like a use spring arm component. There we go. Okay, perfect. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a prof parentheses. Did I spell this correct? Let's fix my typo. Let's go with something like a create default sub object. I'm gonna go with something like sub object. Okay, perfect. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and add a text here. My text is gonna be it's gonna be the name that I'm gonna be seeing inside of my outliner in my Unreal Engine. I'm gonna call the name to be something like camera boom. Okay, let's go with something like camera boom. Alright, perfect. Then I end this with a semicolon. Okay, too much for me, but I support you, bro. Honestly, I appreciate your help, Rachel. Okay, what you aiming for this project? Honestly, what I was looking for when I first started this, because I didn't have much experience with coding whatsoever, I thought that I could have added a generative AI inside of my game, but many of you guys did tell me generative AI and game AI are like two separate things. So I was thinking, okay, I'll be working with game AI here, and my next series might be making a chatbot, so that's gonna be even more interesting. Okay, now once I created a default sub object for my camera boom, I'm gonna go ahead and point my camera boom towards something like a setup attachments section. Okay, now I want to set up an attachment of a root component. Basically, what a root component does is it like lets me see if I want to move, turn, or rotate something inside of my editor, because without the root component, I wouldn't be able to see anything moving. Okay, this is going to be something like setup attachment of root component ending with a semicolon. ATTACHMENT. There we go. Okay, now once I'm done with that, I gotta go ahead and add a target arm length as well. Basically, if you guys ever use selfie sticks or like work with camera boom, which people do use in like film industries, like film stuff, we gotta extend it to be like away from us so we can see our entire third person or something like that. That's what the camera boom I'm gonna point it towards. That's what the target arm length does. Let's go with something like target arm length. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna set that equal to something like 400.0f ending with a semicolon. This basically means my camera is going to be 400 centimeters away from my character. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and point my camera boom towards, let's say, something like BU spawn control rotation. Let's go with something like rotation, which is going to be set to something like true ending with a semicolon. Will you make AI chatbot which can interact like Neurosama? Guys, honestly, I haven't like heard of Neurosama, but I do want to make a fun AI chatbot that's going to be interacting and have conversations, including histories as well. Looking forward to that. Maybe after my programming for like 250 series. Spoilers alert, guys. That said, now once I'm done with creating a default sub object for my camera boom, I'm going to go ahead and add a few attributes for my follow camera, which is my actual camera component. So I'm going to go ahead and set that equal to. Trying to understand your thought process. Actually, guys, I am trying to like convey them like really I'm trying to convey them like really simply, but I feel like it's kind of hard because I am kind of new with like the Unreal Engine, so I'm trying to like understand the stuff myself while actually trying to explain what I'm understanding, if that makes any sense. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and create a default sub object. My camera is going to be my U camera component. Okay, then I add a pair of parentheses that is going to be having a text. I'm going to go ahead and call this something like follow camera, and then I end this with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done with that, my follow camera is going to be requiring a root component as well. So I'm going to go with something like follow camera is going to be pointing towards the setup attachments section. Okay, and now here, I want my actual camera component to be stuck to my spring arm or my camera boom. So my root component is gonna be my camera boom. So now it's like my camera and my root component are like stuck together. Wow, love what you're doing. Honestly, I appreciate you. Jiro, is that how you pronounce your name? Or it's like, Jergori? Guys, I think I'm like awful at name pronunciation, but I honestly appreciate you. That actually means the world to me, guys. Okay, now once I'm done with that, finally, I'm gonna go ahead and set my follow camera to be pointing towards a blueprint. Use pawn control rotation. Let's go with pawn control rotation to be set to something like false, ending with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done with all that, I'm gonna go under my begin play. Maybe I had extra space here. There we go. Now, under my begin play, I want to do something. Let's say I want to create a white function from my, let's say something like a mage's class. I want to get the move forward this function. Okay, with a pair of parentheses that requires a floating point parameter of value. Now, here's the thing. I already created my functions here inside my header files. I am only defining them inside of my C++ files. Okay, will you put it on stream or looking to sell the game logic by building it in public? Okay, that was the question behind your thought process. Oh, I see. Honestly, I'm still like in the process of like learning this stuff, so I'm not going to be like selling anything. The reason I am like adding this on stream is like later on in the future, I could like look myself and like see if I messed up something or if I want a quick review or something. Or even like for you guys, if you guys are like, if you guys are like starting off by learning something new and you guys don't know where to start, I did like start as an absolute beginner in my stream, so you guys could like either join my Discord server and ask me for the roadmap that I used to like get here, or you guys can like watch my streams and go along with me, but that would only work if I like actually managed to succeed in this roadmap, guys, or like in this new series. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a content for my move forward. Let's say I'm gonna go ahead and add a input movement. Let's go with add input movements. There we go, with a pair of parentheses. I think it's something like add movement input. Let's go with something like add movement input. So there we go. Okay, now my add movement input requires two parameters. First is going to be a world direction. Which way is my character facing? Is it forwards or is it backwards? I'm gonna do that by getting something like, let's go with something like get actor. I'm gonna get my actors as forward vector. Okay, so this actually tells me whether or not my actor is facing forwards or backwards. And then I'm going to be requiring a scale value, which is going to be my values parameter. Now, for the second function, I'm going to go with something like void a mage. From my mages class, I'm going to get the move rights function. This function is going to require a floating point parameter of value. And now my move rights function is in charge of my player moving towards the left and towards the right. Hi, my coding bar. Appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and add another movement input with a pair of parentheses. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let's say use the get actor because I require world direction. But instead of forward vector that checks if my player is looking in front or backwards, I'm gonna go with the right vector. The right vector basically there we go. The right vector basically is in charge of looking if my player wants to go towards the left or towards the right. That requires a parameter of value as well, ending with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and create another void function from the mages class. I'm going to go ahead and call this something like turn with a pair of parentheses that requires a floating point parameter of value. Now, since I'm gonna go ahead and rotate / turn my player up and down depending on where I move my mouse in the y-axis, left and right depending on where I move my mouse in the x-axis, I'm not gonna be using movement inputs anymore. Instead, I'm gonna use controller inputs because my mouse is basically like a controller. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a controller input. Okay, with a pair of parentheses. Now my controller input, unlike my spell controller wrong, let's go with add controller input. There we go. And now, unlike my movement input, controller, okay, add controller input is correct. Okay, let's go with something like IntelliSense. Oh, my bad, guys. It's add controller yaw inputs. There we go. Okay, basically what the yaw input does, yaw input is in charge of looking towards the left and right. Pitch input is in charge of looking up and down, which means y-axis. Now my add controller yaw input requires a parameter of value, which is going to be my values parameter, ending with a semicolon. And then lastly, I'm going to go ahead and call my mages class again. From my mages class, I want to go ahead and define the look lookups function. My lookups function requires a floating point parameter of value as well with a pair of curly braces. And now inside my lookup, I'm gonna go ahead and add another controller input. So let's go with add controller. Okay, this time I'm gonna go with the pitch input. Pitch input is in charge of my character looking up or down depending on where I move my mouse in the x-axis, which requires a parameter of value as well, ending with a semicolon. Now, this is like pretty much it. All I gotta do now is like bind my axis. So I gotta bind my axis with my input, because currently if I like click buttons, my Unreal Engine would not know for the time being that I clicked any kind of buttons because I did not add axis mapping. But once I'm done adding axis mapping, if I click button, my Unreal knows I click button. My Visual Studio knows that what to do when a button is clicked, but my Unreal does not know what to do. So I gotta like link those things. That's why we use axis mapping. Okay, but before I actually bind stuff, I gotta go to my project settings, and then I gotta find something like input down here. So there we go, there's input. Once I find inputs, under my axis mappings section, I gotta click axis mapping, and then I'm gonna click the plus again here. There, now I'm gonna go ahead and change the name to be something like move forward. Okay, and then I'm going to click the keyboard button here. Let's go with something like W and S. If I hit W, I want to move -1 directions and if I click S, I want to move +1 directions. I'm going to click my axis mapping again. Go ahead and click the plus button here. Change that to something like move right. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and click this I'm going to click this keyboard here. Go with something like A. If I click A, I want to move +1 directions. If I click D, I want to move to the right -1. Okay, perfect. That's like pretty much it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more axis mapping. One is going to be for turn. The other is going to be for look up. There we go. Now I want to turn to the left and right depending on where my mouse moves in the x-axis. So I'm gonna search for mouse. Let's go with mouse's x-axis. I want to look up and down depending on where my mouse moves in the y-axis. And that's like pretty much it. Now I'm gonna go to my Visual Studio first. Then inside my Visual Studio, under my bind axis, I'm gonna go ahead and type player input components. Okay, and I want to point it towards something. I can use the arrow mark operator because my player input component is a pointer. I'm going to point it towards the bind axis function. Now, my bind axis function requires three parameters. The first parameter is going to be my axis name. In this case, let's start with my move forwards axis. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward. This is my axis name. The second parameter is going to be an object. When I bind my Unreal Engine with my Visual Studio and I know what button I click and what to perform once that button is clicked, what do I want to do? Who do I want to apply that content on? I want to apply it on this, which is my mage right here. And then the third parameter is going to be a function. I have my axis name, I know who to apply it on, but I don't know what to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give the memory address from my mages class. I want to give the memory address of my move forward. Okay, I know my axis name, my Unreal knows what button is clicked. I know who to apply it on. I know what to do once those buttons are clicked. And that's like pretty much it. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and add another player input component. Okay, which points towards, let's go with something like bind axis. Okay, then I'm going to go with the parentheses. Now, let's work with the second axis mapping, that is move right. I'm going to go ahead and apply it on this class. Then I'm going to give the memory address of my mage and point towards the move rights function ending with a semicolon. Then I'm going to go with another player input component. Okay, which is going to be pointing towards the bind axis function. Okay, let's say I want this to be the turn method. Okay, I want to apply this on this, and then I'm going to give the memory address from my mage. I want to go ahead and get my turns function ending with a semicolon. And then maybe I want to go ahead and fix my player input component spelling. Alright guys, let's go with something like player input component. Okay, perfect. And then lastly, I'm going to go ahead and add another player input component, which is going to be pointing towards the bind axis function that requires three parameters. First, my axis name, which is going to be something like look up. Second, who do I want to apply this function on my object, which is going to be this, my mage. Third is going to be the memory address. I'm going to go with something like a mage. So there we go. I'm going to go with something like mage and go with the look up function. Ending with a semicolon. Guys, I was actually trying to speed run that to see how fast I can type. Yeah, I still like make a lot of typos when I type. I thought I'd improve. Okay, let's say Control S to save the code here. Control S to save the code here as well. Go and open my Unreal Engine. Guys, I'm out of breath. There, now I'm gonna go ahead and click my content drawer. I have a C/C++ folder here now. I'm gonna go ahead and do something. Let's close my content drawer. There we go. So under my project 2, I'm gonna go ahead and drop my mages class here in front of my camera. Let's go ahead and get this a bit up. So there we go. Okay, now I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna extend my outliner from here, and then let's go ahead and add something to my mages class. I'm gonna go ahead and add a static mesh. Okay, and now my static mesh is gonna be something like my static mage mesh. Let's go with something like static. I'll just go with static mesh. There. Now my static mesh is I'm gonna go under my static meshes section here. Under the none, I'm gonna go ahead and search for something like my mage. This is the mage's mesh that I created. It's a pretty basic and simple mesh, but guys, this is the best that I could have done. Okay, let's see. Once I'm done with it, that's like right about it. I'm gonna go ahead and click my UI camera. Excuse me guys, I want my mage to go a bit more towards the left, so I'm gonna go back to my static mesh. Let's go to mage. Okay, here's the thing. Before I actually do any of that, I want to get my mage inside my capsule. Right now my mage is outside my capsule. So I'm going to click my static mesh. Okay, just my static mesh. I'm going to go ahead and move it a bit in front. And then a bit towards the left. There, I think he's inside my capsule, right? Okay, is he inside? Guys, it's so hard to see this part. Okay, let's go ahead and get myself a bit higher. Let's go a bit back. Oops, there we go. Let's go a little back. Let's go a bit towards the left. There, let's come a bit in front. Whoops. Hold up, guys. Let me open my static mesh again. There. Okay, I mean, I think he's inside the capsule, right? Okay, maybe I gotta get him a bit in front to actually be inside the capsule. There. Okay, guys, you guys cannot tell me he's not inside the capsule. All I gotta do is get him a bit more to the front. There. Okay, now he's definitely inside the capsule, guys. I see it inside the capsule. From the other side, he's in as well. Okay, that's actually pretty much it. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and open my UI camera. Now, I want to get my mage a little lower and to the left. So, here's my mage. Let's go ahead and get him a bit lower. And towards the left. There, let's open my UI camera again. I want to get him a bit more lower. Let's go with my mage. I want to get my mage a bit more lower. Let's just get him in the floor. There we go. And then towards the left. Open my UI camera. That's good. Okay, that's good. Maybe a bit more towards the left. Let's go a little bit more towards the left. Whoops, I went back, guys, my bad. Okay, towards the left there. Okay, that's pretty much it. Now, I want to get my mage's camera as well. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and Control Alt F11, compile my code, because I won't be able to see that until I don't really compile my code. Okay, let's wait for it to compile. While it's compiling, I might eat something. Okay, let's go ahead and end this real quick. There we go. That's like pretty much it. Now, you guys can see I have like two cameras here. If I were to click my mage, I have a mage's camera as well. This is gonna be my mage's POV, but I want to change the camera. So, this is the camera, follow camera, and the camera boom that I created. For the time being, I want to go with my literal camera component. What if I change the position of my camera boom? Okay, I want to change my camera boom. Let's get it a bit higher. Okay, what if I want to rotate it a little? Okay, I want to rotate it a bit. Okay, rotating does not work here. Let's go with follow camera. I want to go ahead and rotate it a little. Okay, maybe not there. Let's reset that. I want to rotate it so it's like third person. But guys, one thing that I don't get is like wherever I go, it's literally gonna be a third person. Okay, let's go back to my camera boom. I want to go a bit higher. And then a bit to the left. There, that should be good. I feel like that should be good. But guys, my third person is awful here. Maybe I'll go ahead and work on third person later. But for the time being, I'm going to click my camera. Go with something like possess. Okay, it's set to disable. I'm going to set it to something like player 0. And that's like pretty much it. If I were to go ahead and hit Control Alt F11 to compile my code real quick. If I run the code, I can look up, down, I can move forward, I can move backwards, I can move towards the left and right. That's something that I gotta fix. Wait. Okay. Alright, let's hit escape. I want to go to my project settings and like change that to be +1, change that to be -1, change this to be +1, change that to be -1. There. That should fix almost everything here. Let's go back to my map, hit Control Alt F11 real quick. Yo, new to the stream, what are you even doing? This seems like Blender, but what are you compiling code for? Honestly, this is like Unreal Engine where I am like working on game logic today. Bro, thanks, this is Blender, this is Unreal Engine, bro. Guys, that was kind of funny, but like this is my Blender's mesh, but I am like using it in Unreal Engine. So this is third person where my player can move. I did not jump logic it because I feel move is like pretty much it. But now, let's hit escape for the time being. I have my UI camera. My player is here. I want to disable my player's movement while the game is running. And initially, I want to have my this camera on. So, now we finally get some Say/ChatGPT up here. Okay, let's see. Okay, my bad about app dev. So, oh, I see that actually sounds kind of cool. Okay, that's it. Let's say something like, let's say, so dot dot dot. I spent a lot of time and created a character, a mage character who can move using, let's go with something like who can move using WSD. And guys, when I say a lot of time, it didn't take me that long. Although now I want, okay, although I also set the UI camera. Okay, I set the UI camera to be in the correct position. Okay, but when I start the game, I see from my character's POV instead of my UI camera's POV. How to fix that question mark? Okay, let's see. And guys, I did not want to write that in caps. Spoiler much. It's actually saying, let me actually eat something. If you're making the models, and how are you going to make the map? Honestly, I was thinking of like make the map in Blender. Like I might work on that off stream, making a map in Blender, because when I first started Unreal Engine, I thought they already had a map floor and like the sky and all that stuff. I was like, am I gonna get a copyright? But never mind, guys. There's still copyright if you try selling it. But I'm just learning this stuff for the time being, and I'm not like expecting to sell it ever. Depends, guys. That said, I am gonna be working on creating my own sky, my own floor, my own map, everything. I wanna like whatchamacallit, add different unique tints to it type stuff. That's it. Listen, people, this is exactly why you need to think before you play. You hit play. You've got everything set up, but your game starts with the player as the view target. By default, Unreal doesn't automatically show your UI camera just because it exists. Here's how to fix it step by step. Make sure your player controller knows about the UI camera. In your My Player controller, you need a reference to your UI actor. Okay. You property, edit anywhere, blueprint be only category. Okay. Switch to UI camera as game starts. In my begin play, set view target UI camera. I have this as well. Let's copy this real quick. Okay, freeze the thing in your players as begin play, disable cast a player controller, get controller. Alright guys, this whole thing was, this is all a new topic. Wait, okay, so the first thing that I gotta do, I added this stuff. This is something new about the set view targets. This function, gotta learn that. Hi doing, JJ, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, so firstly, I'm gonna go to my player controller. Okay, under my begin play. Okay, I did not see a begin play here. Okay, let me go with Control A, Control C, copy that, get some C/ChatGPT real quick. Let's go ahead and paste this. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and copy my C++ file as well. Get some C/ChatGPT up here, all the way again. Okay, let's scroll all the way here. Go with Shift Enter, paste this as well. Go with Shift Enter and say something like Sensei. So this is my let's say something like, what was the class name? So this is my player controller's class. What do I do here? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Alright people, listen closely. Your My Player controller is basically ready, but you're missing a few key pieces to make your game start from the UI camera and freeze the player until they hit play. I'll break it down step by step. Add a reference to your character's camera in your My Player controller. You also want reference. Okay, I add you property. I did this part. Assign your player's camera in the editor. I did this part. This way, when you click play, you know which camera to switch to. Switch to UI camera on game start. Okay, override begin play in your player controller. Virtual void begin play. Override in C++ void. Okay, create that. Wait, let me say something like, can I get the reference code for my .h and .cpp, because I think I might have to read the code to understand what you mean, question mark. Okay, I might actually have to read it to understand it. Why not use Godot and also use C++? I actually haven't I've heard of Godot, but I never thought to use it. What's it about? I might actually try it. Alright people, I'll give you a full reference for your player controller and how it links to the UI camera player. Enabled freezes your character. Study this carefully. Okay, so under my public body, I create a virtual void begin play. And then I switch to camera UI. I see. Okay, and then I create a U function called blueprint callable, which is called set camera to player. I create two properties, camera and UI camera. Okay, and then in my player.c++, I include the from my Kismet's library, I include gameplay statistics or statics, S-T-A-T-I-C-H, statics, dot header file. Okay, I have worked with the Kismet library. Okay, void begin play. Okay, so I gotta go ahead and write my super begin play. If UI camera set view target to be UI camera, freeze player at start, a character player, UI gameplay statics, get player character, this 0 if player this if my player is set to true, I point my player towards disable input this, so no key controls works. Void my player controller set camera to UI if UI set view target with blend to UI camera. Okay, I think I see. Before I read, I want to see if it works. Godot is game engine like Unreal, but way easier and lighter. I see. I might actually, but I think I already started Unreal, so I might actually finish using it that stuff. But I might actually look into Godot as well. Although I am enjoying Unreal Engine a lot. I feel it's really fun. Let's hit Control S to save the code. Control S to save the code. Now apparently this should work. Let's go ahead and hit something like Control Alt F11 to compile my code. While it's compiling, my read some notes. It says build failed. You player. Okay, let's copy this part. There. Let's go ahead and copy this real quick. Exit that. Go here. Okay, so it says because of my player, my build failed. Let's go ahead and get sensei/chatgpt here. Let's paste this. Go with shift enter. Okay, this is my .h file. Let's give my .h and my .c++ file. Let's go with Control A, Control C, copy that. Go ahead and paste this here and say something like this is my .cpp file. Let's go ahead and paste my .c++ file as well. I see a tiny red underline here. Okay, but that just might be my editor. So I'm gonna go ahead and paste this here and say something like I ran into an error. Okay, let's see. You still doing the 10 likes drinking water? Guys, that was once in a lifetime stuff with whatchamacallit, the New Year's, but if you guys do want me, I couldn't get that back again. The funny thing is, after I was done with my my stream, I did not drink water once in the entire day. I drank 8 cups and I was so full. That said, people, I see exactly what went wrong, although that was kind of fun. I actually was initially thinking of eating a pepper every time I hit 10 likes, but I was like, I can't find those many peppers. Okay, that actually might be kind of fun. And guys, my birthday is tomorrow. I actually completely forgot about it. That's it, people. I exactly see what went wrong. The compiler is yelling at you because your player is already a member variable in a player controller. UE5 added to object inside the class. When you write it, you're declaring a local variable with the same existing name. Okay, error declaration to fix. Excuse me, guys. You just need to rename your local variable so it doesn't conflict with the build player. Okay, I gotta change my player statistics, get player 0 if my player. Okay, update C++. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this part. Okay, let's go to my C++ file, go with Control A, Control V to paste this. Okay, and then let's hit Control S to save the code. Actually get my Unreal Engine up here. Hit Control Alt F11 to compile my code. While it's compiling, I might actually eat something. Okay, let's run the code. Okay, I can still move around. And I don't see from my static UI cameras is perspective. Wait, I think I see where I messed up here. Let me get Unreal Engine. It's called UI camera. So UI camera. There. Okay, that does not work. Okay, so I have UI camera. So if UI camera. Okay, well, wish you all the best, bro. Honestly, I appreciate your long term. I'm kind of excited. I'm gonna like turn 18 tomorrow. Okay, let's hit control. Let's just save the code. And now let's get some slash whoops, let's get some slash chat GP up here. Now let's say something like Sensei. Okay, that fixed the build error, but when I run the code, I see from my character's POV, my camera is called UI camera. Okay, let's see. Okay, you're doing well. Honestly, I appreciate your pixels. Actually, the world to be, guys. I see people, you built it, but your game is still starting to look through the player's camera, not the UI camera. This usually happens because the player controller isn't actually possessing your UI camera. Make sure player controller is set. Go to your game mode in the editor. Open your game mode or create one if you haven't. Set player controller class to a my player controller, your custom controller. Make your UI camera an actual actor in the level. Freeze the game at the start. Okay, I think I know where I messed up. I gotta go ahead and create a new game mode. So I might get to save the new in another window because I do want to read the instructions while doing this as well. Okay, check the current player controller. So go to world settings, game mode. Wait, I think I'm like in the wrong place. There. Let me go all the way up here. Now I gotta go to my game mode in the editor. So this is like my editor. I do not see a game mode here. I see player controller. How do I go to a game mode? If I were to right click, I can create a new C++ class. Can I go ahead and create something like a game mode? There we go. I see one's called like game mode base. Let's go to all classes. I might go with something like game mode. So let's go with something like mode. Okay, so there we go. I can go ahead and create the game mode class here. Let's say something like next. I'm gonna leave it as it is, the name. So how's Unreal Engine going? Honestly, it's like going really, really fun. I think like I'm starting to understand a lot about it. That said, I feel like there are a few things that it's still kind of complicating, but I feel like I'm starting to get a good grasp on how things work. Okay, so I went ahead and created a game mode class. Set player controller class to your custom controller. Now, how do I do that? Let's go and open my Unreal Engine again. Okay. Now, let's say I created a game mode class. Create C++ derived from my game mode. Okay, let's get some say/ChatGPT up here real quick. Okay, might need a step-by-step instruction here. Okay, let's go ahead and extend that real quick. Now, let me go ahead and maybe zoom in a bit, scroll down and see something like Sensei. I created a default game modes class. Okay, so I created a default game modes class. So, okay, what to do now? My default game modes class is in my C++ classes folder in my content browser. Okay, let's go with something like PROWSER. Okay, perfect. Now, what is something else that I want to do? Let's go with something like C++. Can you tell me what to do step by step? Question mark. Okay, let's see what to do step by step. Alright people, listen up. We're going to make sure your custom game mode is used and your camera switching works properly. Follow these steps exactly. Open your level blueprints. Okay, go to main toolbar, settings, world settings. If you don't see world settings panel, I know where's world settings panel. Set your default game mode. In the world settings panel, look for game mode or right click the drop down and select custom game mode, the one that you made in C++. This ensures that your game uses C++'s game mode when the level starts. Make sure your player controller is set inside your game modes class. Check the player controller settings. I think I see. Let's open my Unreal Engine real quick. Now, I'm gonna go to my world settings right here. Let's go ahead and extend this. My game mode override is gonna be set to something like custom. Is there something like custom? Okay, there is no custom, so I might set it to something like my game mode that I created right now. Is it called my game mode? There we go. What if I want to rename it? Let's go with something like renamed to... There we go. Okay, I cannot actually rename it. Let's go ahead and exit this real quick. Wait, I was trying to rename this. Isn't there like a way to rename it? And guys, give me a sec. Let me actually like check something. I feel there's a few background noise. Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect, guys. I thought there were some background noises. Okay, I think I set it to something like my game mode now. Okay, so game mode override is set to game mode. Okay, now under my game mode, is there something I want to do? This is my game modes class right here. Okay, what do I want to do there? Let me get some /ChatGPT up here again. Now inside my game modes class, okay, you can set this in my constructors. So a game mode. Let's go ahead and copy that. Go Control A, Control C, get some /ChatGPT here. Let's go ahead and paste this. Did I actually paste that stuff? Okay, and then let's go to my C++ file as well. Go with Control A, Control C as well. Get some /ChatGPT up here. Scroll all the way down and paste this here as well. Let's say something like say, this is my game modes .h and .cpp file. And also I went to world settings and set my game mode override to the class that I created. Okay, now whilst it says replying, maybe I go ahead and hydrate my lips real quick. Okay, good. Now we're going to turn this game into a machine that tells Unreal to use your custom player controller and your character. Right now, it does nothing, just an empty shell. Here's what you need to do step by step. Modify our game mode header files, my game mode.h. We need to tell the game which player controller and font to use. Okay, once pragma, I gotta go with something like public. A my game mode as my constructor. I'm assuming that's my header files. And then in my C++ files, your constructor, your character class, here's where the magic happens. Player controller class, a my player controller static. I see, let's see if that works. Okay, let's go to my header files, go with something like delete this part, paste it here, and then let's go to C++. Bro, your typo is too much, guys. That actually makes sense. I'm shocked that /ChatGPT even understands my typos. But I feel like my typos, honestly now, man, they haven't improved. I was gonna say like it might have improved, but never mind, guys. That's it. Let's hit something like Control S to save the code, Control S to save the code here. Now let's see if this part actually works. This is a mage. Let's go to my Unreal Engine real quick. Let's go ahead and decrease the size up here. Now let's hit Control Alt F11 to compile my code. Okay, let's wait for it to compile. While it's compiling, I might eat some oats. Okay, let's go ahead and exit that. Let's run the code. Okay, I cannot actually move. This is good, but I think that I'm not looking from my UI actors as POV just yet. Or am I? Okay, I think I actually am. Let's get this a bit back. I want to see if it changes. I hit Control Alt F11 real quick to compile my code real quick. While it's compiling, let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and exit this. Let's run the code. Okay, I am stuck. Everything is static here. I cannot move. But here's the thing. Let's go with shift. Let's go ahead and click something like escape. Okay, go with my UI camera. I want to get it a bit in front. Let's go ahead and get it a bit in front. There. That's good. Okay, so it works. Okay, it actually works, but let me say something. Let me go ahead and say something like Let's say it works, but it works. I cannot move, but I still see from my, let's say something like from my, let's go with my mage's camera. Let's go with something like my mage's camera's this POV and not from my UI camera. Okay, although my input is blocked. Okay, I mean, I won't say this is bad. The one that I have currently is good as well, but I want to see how to move from one camera to the other. Oh, I see exactly what's happening, people. You think you're looking through a UI camera, but Unreal always starts with the view of the pawn's camera. If there is a possessed character, even if input is blocked, freeze, listen. Here's how to fix it. Make sure your player controller sets the UI camera at the beginning. Right now, your begin play probably disables input, nothing else. You need to force the view to switch to the UI camera. Okay, set view UI camera. This makes you look through the UI camera. Make sure UI camera is a proper actor. Make sure the player camera is correct. Okay, what if I don't have pawn possess? Let me go ahead and go to my mage. I'm gonna go ahead and click something like possess. I'm pretty sure my mage is supposed to have possess. Oh, I think in details this panel, I'm gonna go ahead and find something like possess. I'm gonna change that to something like disabled. How do you disable it? There. Now let's hit Control Alt F11. This time I should not be seeing from my mage's perspective. I'm gonna go ahead and exit this. Run the code real quick. There, I cannot move right now. Let's go with Shift F1. Okay, but this isn't my mage's perspective though. Let's go ahead and set that to be something like player 1. I've never tried setting it to player 1. What does player 1 do? Let's see. Let's run the code real quick. Result succeeded. Let's run the code. Okay, there is nothing called player 1, so I'm gonna go ahead and change that back to player 0. Okay, here's the thing. I could settle with this, but I do not want to settle with this because I want it to be the thing that I actually want it to be. Okay. How do I change cameras? I gotta move from one camera to the other camera. How do I do that? Maybe, what if I just learn how to move from one camera to the other? Let's say something like, let's say, okay. I still see from my player's camera. Although, how do I switch cameras? I think that that's what we need. Like, I want to start by looking at the first camera and then switch. Okay, like when I run the code, I want to see using camera 1, and if I hit a button, I want to switch to the camera 2. Okay guys, I might actually have to watch a few tutorials on this one on how to switch cameras. Okay, make 2 cameras, UI drag camera actor into level position, player camera, assign camera in your player controller, U property, force the view at beginning in my player controller, void camera controller, super. I did this part honestly. Switch camera when button is clicked in your overlay widget when you press a button. I mean, it works, but it's not something that I actually wanted. Guys, I opened my Blender by mistake. Okay, let's exit that real quick. There, instead of ChatGPT, why don't you watch tutorials? I do watch tutorials like off stream, because if I watch it on stream, then I do get copyright type stuff. That said, I use ChatGPT for like doing most of the stuff that tutorials don't actually show. Okay, let's go ahead and run the code again. Now, I'm going to be seeing from my player's, my mage's perspective, okay? Maybe, I think I can use this to my advantage as well. Let's go ahead and exit real quick. Okay, so I'm going to go to my mage's camera. This is my follow camera. Actually, let's go with my camera stick. Now, I want to go ahead and get this a bit towards the right there. That should be good. Let's go ahead and run the code. What's the concept? Honestly, today I am like working with like, whatchamacallit? I am working with like game logic in Unreal Engine 5 using C++, where I am trying to like move over cameras. For example, I want to have a static camera when my game actually starts. When I click a button, I want to move and switch to the other camera type stuff. That's it, happening, Brian. I appreciate you joining the stream. Now, I might want to get my mage a bit more towards the left. What's the concept, bro? Stop your stream and watch. Honestly, I usually do stream for like 2-ish hours, so I am trying to like figure this out if I could like figure out myself type stuff. But if I could not, then I could actually like do it off stream as well. That's it. Let's go to my camera. Boom. I want to get this a bit more towards the right. There. I think that should be good. Let's go ahead and run the code again. Okay. I won't say this is bad. It's actually good. I want to get this a bit lower. Okay, wow, game development is very hard. At least app development, that actually it does make sense. Okay, let's go ahead and now add my UI. Okay, let's work on my UI now. For my UI, I'm going to go ahead and open my menu bar. Maybe I want to increase the size a little. There, get this a bit more towards the left. Let's compile the code real quick. Run the code from here. Okay, this is not bad. I won't say it's bad. I'm going to change my player's camera though. Okay, let's go ahead and exit this real quick. I'm going to go to my mage. Fix my camera a bit. So there we go. Okay, so in my mage's follow camera, I'm going to go ahead and reset the rotation. Okay, and then maybe I want to get it a little lower. Or is this good? I mean, I won't say it's bad. I want to get my UI a bit lower as well. And my camera a bit up. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and stop this real quick. And guys, this is just a few trial and error now. Just like doing it the way I want it to look. I'm going to go ahead and get my mage a bit higher. Okay, let's get my mage a little higher. And then I want my UI to be a bit... Okay, so I want my mage to be a bit higher. And then I want my UI to go a bit lower. There, let's go ahead and compile this. Let's run the code real quick. I mean, I won't say this is bad. Okay, I want my mage to go a bit up. Like, a bit higher. Okay, let's get my mage a little bit higher. There. Okay, that should be good. Let's go ahead and run the code again. Wait, do I need to compile before I run? Let's go with Ctrl-Alt-F11 real quick to compile my code. Okay, it says result succeeded. Now let's go ahead and run the code. Okay, I mean, I do like fall from a height. So instead of getting my player high, I might want to get my player a little lower. And I want to change my camera. So I'm going to go with my follow camera or my camera. Boom. Let's get that a little lower. There, that should be good. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and run the code again. There we go. Okay, this is actually perfect. This is actually perfect. All I want to do is get my UI and my player a bit high. But I keep falling down though. Okay, because my capsule is there. I want to get my capsule lower. Wait, let's go to my static mesh. Let's go to my static mesh. Let's get my static mesh a bit up. There. Okay, so now with my capsule being higher, this should be good. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and run the code again. There we go. My player is not touching it's not like going underground much. Okay, now I want to get my UI a bit higher. So my UI a bit higher and a bit more wide. Let's exit this. Okay, let's go to UI. I want my UI to go a bit up, be a bit bigger. There, that should be good. Okay, I'm pretty sure this should be good. Okay, I'm struggling with SQL. Do you have any suggestions? Honestly, I haven't like learned SQL yet, but I might actually look into that. Like eventually, I do want like go over like HTML and SQL because I've heard like SQL is like the memory of like our program. For example, Python is the brain, C++ is the speed, and I think Java or JavaScript is the body. Fact check me on that, guys. But SQL is like the memory. Okay, this actually looks kind of good now, guys. I could like just completely remove this part, but I don't want to like remove my outliner completely. Now, I want to add a few buttons here. To add a buttons, I'm going to go to my blueprint, maybe zoom in a bit. Let's go ahead and add a button. So, I'm going to go ahead and click my button. Maybe I delete this. Okay, let's go ahead and force delete a button. Whoops, I'm going to go with Control Z. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop a button right here. This is going to be inside my canvas. Okay, let's go ahead and get that button all the way up here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, oops, let's hit Control Z real quick. I'm going to go ahead and increase the size. Let's lock my button here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and increase the size a little. And then I'm going to find my style, normal, and set a button to it. I created a PNG for it, so I'm going to go with something like yellow. This is going to be my yellow button. I'm going to go ahead and increase the size, get it somewhere up here. change routed box to be image so I don't see a white border beside it. There, that's good. Now I'm gonna hit something like Control D to copy, get this button under that, hit Control D to copy again, get that button under that. Okay, this should be pretty much good. Let's go ahead and compile the code real quick. Go to my map, run the code. There, that looks good. I have 3 buttons. I want to change the hover as well. So I'm going to go ahead and exit this. Go to my button here. Under tint, I'm going to change that to be something like 1, 1, and 1. So my tint is not completely dark. I'm going to change that to 1, 1, and 1. So I can get its original color. Okay, I'm good in Python, but SQL and Java is so struggling. That actually sounds kind of fun. I might want to start SQL as well. Okay, that's it. Let's go all the way up here and then under my hover. When I hover over it, for the time being, it does look like it's white. So I'm going to change that to something like yellow button. When I hover over it, I want it to change to be and look like a yellow button. Let's change that to something like yellow button as well. Lastly here, let's change this to be something like a yellow button as well. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and compile this. If I were to run the code. There we go. When I go ahead and hover over it, it gets a bit darker than it already is. But that's actually perfect. Now, I want to add stuff where I click a button and then that exits my program. And later, I'm going to go with like start my program as well. I'm going to go here. Before that, a very important stuff, guys. I got to save everything. Got to go to content jar. Got to go ahead and save everything. Let's go ahead and save everything. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm going to go back to my menu here. Hey, let's see what is something that I want to do now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add a text. This is going to be called something like start. Okay, there we go. Maybe I want to go ahead and increase the size of my start. How do you increase the size? Start. Let's go with something like size. Okay, let's go. Whoops, that's too big. Okay, can't I increase it manually with my hands? Nope, let's hit Control Z real quick. Let's go to something like start. Slowly. There, I think that looks good, right? Start, a cute little start. Is there a color? Color, okay, let's go back to appearance. Let's change this to something like black. How do you go with black? There we go. Okay, and then I want to go ahead and add another text. I don't know what to call this text. Okay, let's go with something like text. I'm gonna go ahead and call this something like resume. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with something like color. Okay, let's change the color to be something like black. And then I'm gonna go with something like size. Okay, let's go ahead and increase the size to be 73. Let's go with 73. Okay, that's too big. Maybe I want to go a bit smaller there. Okay, perfect. One day, even I aspire to become a game developer. That sounds really good. Good luck with that, Surya. Hey guys, that actually sounds kind of cool. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this here. I'm gonna go ahead and set these. Before I set these size, I gotta go ahead and set my text. Let's go with something like text. Okay, let's call this something like end. If I click this, I want to go ahead and end the stuff. I'm going to go with something like color. I want the color to be something like black. So let's go with black. And then I want the size to, let's say, increase a bit. Up. There. I think that looks good. Start, resume, end. Maybe I want to go with something like position. Okay, alignment. So let's go more towards the left, towards the right, towards the center, up, down. Okay, I mean, I think that's good, right? Okay, let's go ahead and compile this. Let's go ahead and run the code real quick. Start, resume, and end. I can go ahead and click the buttons. There we go. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and exit this real quick. Now, I'm gonna go back to my menu bar. It's time that I go ahead and add a few content to my stuff. For example, I'm gonna work on my end first because that's what I know how to do. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and set my end to be a variable firstly. In my graphs, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say add a on pressed. Okay, I'm gonna go to class settings. I'm gonna change user widget to, what's it called? I forgot. Let's go to something like map. What was my widget called? I'm gonna go to something like UI. Let's go to content UI. It's called WBP menu bar. So it's called WBP menu bar. Okay, let's go with something like WBP. Okay, wait, that is my class settings, right? So I have menu bar, I have widget, overlay perhaps. Okay, I do not see overlay. I'm gonna set it to my user widget. It's already set to user widget. What was my class called? My class was called... Oh, I do not have a class. No wonder. Before I actually add a button here, I'm gonna go ahead and compile firstly. I'm gonna go to my, let's say, main project. Let's go to something like tools, and then I'm gonna go ahead and create a new class. I'm gonna go to all. I'm gonna create a user widget class. Okay, let's create a user widget. There. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and name this class to be something like menu overlay. Okay, this is gonna be my menu overlay class. Then I'm gonna go ahead and create a class. Okay, while it's creating, I might eat some oats real quick because I am kind of starving. Then let's go ahead and reload all. Okay, are you from the States? Honestly, I do live like abroad, but then I can't tell exactly what country I'm from. That's, let's see, so I create a new class here. Now, what is something that I might need here? Firstly, I might want to publicalize everything here, so I'm going to go ahead and publicalize that. Next up, what do I want to do here? Okay, let's think. This is my menu bar. I want to exit my program when I click my menu bar. So I might want to create a void function called something like on exit a button on my exit button pressed. Okay, so if I press my exit button, that won't require any parameters, but I end this with a semicolon. Now here's the thing, I want this to be a U function, a unrealist function which can be called by my blueprints. So I might go with something like blueprint callable. Blueprint callable. Okay, perfect. So my U function is blueprint callable and this is my function name. I create my function inside my header files. I want to define it inside my C++ file. So inside my C++ file, is there something that I want to include? I might want to include, let's go with something like include a pair of parentheses. Let's say I want to include something from my Kismet's library. Okay, or my helper library. I'm going to go with something like slash. Let's go with something like Kismet system library. Okay, .h, which is the header files of my Kismet systems library. Then I'm going to hit Control S to save the code. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm going to go to my C++ file, go ahead and include my Kismet's library again. Let's go with KISMET slash KISMET LIBRARY system or Kismet systems library. Okay, .h, which is its header files. Now, once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say create a function. So I'm gonna go with something like a void function. Here's the thing, did I spell it correct? KISMET, this is system library.h. I might copy this. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get this here. Oh, it's correct. Okay, instead, I'm gonna go ahead and go with something like menu overlay. This is my class's name. I'm gonna go ahead and get the function. It's called on exit button press this function. I'm gonna go with on exit button press this function. Okay, I want to do something. So on my exit button press, let's see, what do I want to do? Might go with the pair of curly braces. Firstly, I want to go ahead and add a UE log to actually tell myself the stuff worked. So I'm gonna say something like exit pressed. So there we go. And then I'm gonna go. Okay, my bad, guys. I used UE log like a print statement for a second there. Okay, I'm gonna create a UE log which requires 3 parameters. First is gonna be a log temp. The second parameter is gonna be a verbosity. Verbosity is basically what kind of text I want to display on my output log. For example, a warning text which is going to be displayed in yellow, a default text which is going to be displayed in white, a error text which is going to be displayed in red. In this case, I want to go with a warning text. Okay, perfect. And then thirdly, I'm going to add a format string, which is going to be a text that I want to display on my output log. Let's say I want my text to be something like exit a button pressed. Let's go with something like exit button pressed. Okay, and then I go ahead and end my UE log with a semicolon. Now, I'm going to go ahead and create, let's say, a worlds pointer, which represents my U world. That is going to be equal to the get worlds function, ending with a semicolon. What this basically means is I could go ahead. Did I spell get world wrong? Okay, this is going to be something like get world. Okay, I mean, I'm positive it's correct. Okay, I think it's correct. That said, the reason I'm actually getting the world of because my button, I could use the same exact exit button in like different places, just copies of it type stuff. So I want to get the exact place where it is. For example, is it above my menu bar? Do I want to use it to exit my game type stuff? Okay, speaking of which, identifier get world is unidentified. Okay, this is supposed to get my world. Let's go with something like get. How many gets is there? Get W. Okay, O R L D. Okay, I'm positive this should be get world. Okay, so that is U world, which is represented by a worlds pointer that is equal to get world, with a parentheses ending with a semicolon. Okay, and then maybe wait, let me actually get some c/chatgpt up here. Guys, this is going to be a long one. Let me go all the way up here. Okay, maybe a bit higher. Okay, this is overlay widget. There we go. I knew it's get world. This is like my old code. Like, this is like from 3 streams ago, I guess. Brother, you know talking a lot makes you tired, right? Take a break. Honestly, I feel like I'm not that exhausted, actually. But I might actually take a break. U world... It's correct. I don't need this part, though, but I did have this part. Okay, Kismet system library.h. Okay, components for buttons. I did not need that stuff here. I think it's correct, honestly. I go with the get worlds function and then if world on exit button pressed. I did this part, so it should be correct. Okay, I mean, I'm positive like everything here is correct, right? On exit button pressed. Does my UE log work? Okay, only one thing I could think of. Oh, it's my typo, guys. I had a typo there. No wonder it didn't work. On exit button pressed, just to be sure, I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. Let's go ahead and copy that. Go here, paste it here. There. Okay, when will Mr. Oats stop the grind? Guys, stop the grind. It's kind of crazy. That said, I might actually eat some oats. Okay, that is my exit button. I think it's correct, guys. I did everything correct. I'm just blaming my editor. There we go. Next, I'm gonna add a if statement to check something like if not world. If my world is a null PTR, then I'm gonna go ahead and do something. Let's say I want to go ahead and return, because the reason I return is if like I click something that I shouldn't have and I'm about to get a crash. Instead of crashing my program, I just want to close my function. And then I'm gonna go ahead and create a player controller. So a player controller, CONTROLLER. My player controller is going to be represented by a PC's pointer, which is going to be equal to my world that is going to be pointing towards. I forgot what's it going to be pointing towards. I think it's going to be pointing towards something like player. Okay, let's think. Okay, so it's get first player controller. So I'm going to go ahead and type the get first player controllers function. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to go with the parentheses ending with a semicolon. Okay, how did I motivate bro to eat oats? Honestly, guys, I feel like I've been eating oats like for years. It's like one of the best meals that I've ever came across, because like I feel it's healthy as well and it keeps me energized for so long. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add a if statement to check something like if not world. My bad, guys. If not PC, if my player controller is about to run into an error and it returned null PTR, I'm gonna go ahead and return ending with a semicolon. Once I'm done with all that, I'm gonna go ahead and get something or get a function from my Kismet system library. Okay, from my Kismet system library, I'm gonna go ahead and use the scope resolution operator and get a quizzes function. Did I spell it correct? Let's copy that. Let's go ahead and paste it here. Okay, I spelled it correct. I'm gonna go ahead and get the quit game. I think it's something like quit. Okay. Okay, this part is correct as well. It's just my editor. I feel PC equals to world because your whole world for you guys. Okay, I think I took a second, but that's okay. It's kind of funny, guys. Okay, let's see. So Kismet system library. Wait. Okay, oats is the best thing, guys. That actually does make sense. Okay, maybe I go ahead and eat something as well. Well, I guess I'm done. Okay, so that is like my PC from my Kismet system libraries as header files. I'm positive I go with like Kismet system library and then I get the quit function. Is this part? Guys, I'm so confused sometimes because like I feel it's my editor that just simply messes with me. So like I gotta keep fact checking myself, but I feel like I did it correct. Like, okay, there we go. It should be Unreal's Kismet system library, not just the Kismet system libraries. Okay, I'm gonna go with something like the quit game here. Okay, and then let's go with the parentheses. Now my quit game requires a few parameters. Firstly, it requires a world context object, which in this case is gonna be my world. Next up, it requires a player controller, which is represented by a PC as pointer. The third parameter is going to be, let's say something like a equid preference. Let's go with equid preference. There we go, which is going to be something like quit because I do want to quit my game. Although I gotta fact check what it actually does. Then I'm going to go with something like a pair of parentheses. The fourth parameter is going to be a boolean of B ignored platform restrictions. I'm going to set that equal to false because I don't want to ignore platform restrictions. Excuse me guys, ending with a semicolon. Now if I were to save the code here, go to my Unreal Engine real quick. Now if I were to Control Alt F11 to compile my code, let's see what happens. Okay, if you're gonna license your code, what license are you gonna use it? What license are you gonna use, and is it gonna be open source? Guys, what else license? I've heard like other people add license, but I actually don't know what that, like how to do that stuff. I might actually look into that later on. That's it, let's go ahead and run the code. Now, if I start, nothing happens. If I resume, nothing happens. But if I were to hit end, well, nothing happens either. Oh, I see. The reason nothing happens is because if I were to go to my WBP menu bar, I want to go ahead and click my button here. Maybe I go here. Oops, I go to my designer. I go to my end button. There we go. Okay, I go to something like my end button. I set it as variable. I want to go under events and add, let's say, on clicked event. Now I'm gonna go ahead and extend this and search for on exit pressed. This is going to be my callable function on exit. Okay, I can't see my callable function. The reason I can't actually see my callable function is I gotta go to class settings. I gotta change user widget to my overlay menu. My menu overlay, there we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go to my map at Control Alt F11 to compile my code real quick. Not licensing, it implies it's public domain, which basically means you do not have copyright ownership over it. I see. Honestly guys, I might have to add a license in that case, but I actually need to figure out how to do that first. That's it, let's go ahead and find something like on exit. There we go, on exit button pressed. And that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and run the code here. Now, if I were to run the command, let's see what happens. If I click start, nothing happens. If I click resume, nothing happens. But if I click end, my program does end. So that part works, that's good. Guys, I think I'm out of oats. Okay. Guys, this is kind of fun though. When I start the program, it's like I can end the program by clicking end, and in my output logs, I'm pretty sure it says that. There we go. This is like my log, my UE log. It says log temp warning exit button. It said that before as well, I'm pretty sure. Okay, that's like pretty much it. Let's get sensei/ChatGPT up here. Let me say something like sensei. I added the content. Okay, where if I click the end button, my game exits. Okay, but I want to do that with play as well. Okay, but I can't switch my cameras. Okay, but I can't switch my cameras, so how do I do that? Let me think the correct question. But I can't switch my cameras, so I used my characters as camera. Okay, so I used my characters as camera. Okay, and not my UI camera, but I feel like that might be a bad idea. So do you think that I should do it this way? Like when I run the code, I have a widget, okay, that covers my entire window, and it says play, exit, and resume. And when I hit play, my widget disappears and I have access to my entire game. Guys, I feel this is genius. Okay, yes, people, that's exactly how it should be done. What you're thinking makes complete sense. Let me spell it out so it's crystal clear. How to structure it: UI camera optional but clear if you want special frozen view. When the widget is showing, place a camera in the level, call it UI camera. This camera is not just showing the menu overlay. You switch the camera at begin play so the player never sees their in-game view until they hit play. Widget covering the screen, your overlay widget with play / exit / resume buttons that blocks input to the player until players click. This is how you freeze the game visuals and functionally play button. On click, hide the widget, enable input of the player, switch the player's camera. Either the mage's camera component or a camera actor attached to the player. Exit button. Just call Kismet System Library Squid Game like you already did. Why your current approach is okay but can be improved using the player before play is not ideal. The player can see their in-game view before they actually hit play. The game doesn't feel like frozen. The menu, gameplay, etc. I think I might actually go over this next stream because I might want to watch a few tutorials on how to like work with like the play button and all that stuff. But I feel I made like actually kind of good progress. I wanted to go a bit more, but I might actually go through some of this off stream. Let me say something like, say I see ... I might actually work on this off stream. Let's go with something like off stream. Okay, because I need to watch a few tutorials. That said, before I do end the stream, is there anything that you want to say to the viewers? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Okay, listen up, people. Listen up, pupils as viewers. Today was strong with the Dentlink buttons. He dug into the code, debugged, and started understanding camera logic in Unreal Engine. Remember, if you want your game to feel professional, think like a designer and a programmer at the same time. Don't just make it work, make it feel right. And Vivek, don't think I forgot. Off-stream study is where real magic happens. No slacking or you'll know I'll haunt you. I'll haunt your future self. Now go level up and make that UI switch like a master. Okay, that's it. Let's go to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that was pretty much it for the stream. That said, I would have gone longer if like I actually could watch videos. Maybe I should like actually get another, or like I should set my headphones to like a different window or something where I watch the videos. But I will be watching tutorials off stream on how to get my play button and my resume button to work. That's it. If you guys enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Like helps my algorithm. Sharing makes you smile. Subscribing is like get you on top. That's it, guys. I just start multi-streaming on Twitch, Kick, YouTube. I will start multi-streaming on Instagram and TikTok as well if I did meet the followers requirement. So if you guys haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me there. The link will be in the description, and also join the Discord server. That's where I usually talk to you guys, chat with you guys, or give you guys my roadmap. The link will be in the description as well. That's it. I'll catch you guys on the next live stream or video. Peace.